Hey, it is Monday, and it's not only Monday, it's Monday during the first week of summer. We have Jordan Cox as the guest host talking about GM's ICE vehicles, Stellantis ICE vehicles, and student debt.
The people really want to know.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to wrap those three together. Jordan,
Somehow.
good morning. It's good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
So, do you wear a suit every single day?
Not on like Sunday and Saturday. Or if we're doing a special shoot.
He's like, not when I'm mowing the lawn. All the other times he suits up and shows up. I love it.
Actually, what I should have said was, hey, I got a text from you this morning. I should have said I went back home and got a suit just for this, right?
I burst into the dry cleaners and said, please, I need this pressed immediately. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Ian. Welcome to everybody on the live stream that gets to watch this show live every day. If not, you know, you can always catch it on the podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. Just search Automotive Troublemaker. How was your weekend? Did you do something good?
It was great, man. Like Father's Day, that is like the epitome of the great weekend. Weather was awesome here. We took a trip down to Indy, which is about 3 hours from us. How was your weekend? What'd you guys do?
Oh, man, Father's Day. All about Father's Day. In my family, we tend to celebrate things for weekends. So it's like if it's your birthday, it's your weekend. It starts Friday night. It ends Sunday night. Father's Day is the same thing. And my wife, very appropriately, she was like, what do you want? Like, she doesn't plan anything anymore for Father's. She's like, what do you want to do for Father's Day? But she did say that. She's like, remember, it's not like your birthday where like, because I usually want to do things by myself. I don't know. You can judge me if you want, but I'm an introvert at heart.
Yeah.
As contrary to pop. So like I recharge by being alone. It's very odd in my life that I have time to be alone, right? I'm always broadcasting or I'm with my team or I'm with the family. And she goes, so it's Father's Day. So remember, it's about celebrating being a father. I was like, right, check. Yeah. So she pulled out the Remarkable tablet, you know, that little thing. It was mine. I never used it. So she's become like the master. My wife, who's not good with technology in general, literally knows every corner of this thing. And she makes a list. I was like, let's make a list. And I just listed all these things that I wanted to get done around the house. And I was like, if we get these done, I'll really feel like I can relax on Sunday. And we just had a great time outside and moving around, like just fixing little things. We refinished an outdoor table, went to church.
You burned out.
I ate way too much because it was like, Dad, where do you want to eat? All the wrong places. The answer to that.
The places you can't eat normally, you eat there today.
All the wrong. I got a full on pass that like I'm just gonna do it up this weekend. So we had an awesome time. We're coming off an amazing week. Last week we spent a lot of time in Atlanta, Georgia, having a ASOTU live tonight. You can go see that on our YouTube channel or LinkedIn. Just go to the ASOTU channel or ASOTUX.com and you can click through right and see the show. It was amazing. We wrote custom music. We had tons of guests. We had a technician and the crowd was literally yelling, Jerry, like the Jerry Springer show. You have to check it out. It was amazing.
My favorite part was the dealer went down to Georgia.
We did a rendition with the band from Nashville and they pulled in a surprise fiddle player at the end and we played a rendition of The Devil Went Down to Georgia, but rewritten for automotive. It was a lot of fun. You know, all of the things that we do, sometimes there's a lot of questions like, what do you actually do? Right? Because you're going to watch the trailer and we're like, what are they actually doing? The bottom line is this. The automotive industry is, we believe, in its renaissance years, the dealer network in their renaissance years, not on the decline. And we need to show the rest of the world that we're here for them, that we're showing up, and that there's a lot of inspiring things happening inside stores every single day. So whether we're talking about automotive news, whether we are having events like Live Tonight, whether we are filming the TV show More Than Cars, which we just filmed episode 2, boy, we got to tell you about that. But whether or not all of that, if you're in the retail auto industry, we want to be a beacon that everybody gathers around. So then the like-minded people can start really understanding what we can do together to show the rest of the world the real heart of the industry. Jordan, you're part of the heart of the industry, man. That's how we found each other.
That's right. Well, you know, it's cool that you guys are able to create something like that because obviously we believe that the best days in automotive are in front of us and we're experiencing it right now and we only get to create it and make it better every time. So I'm just looking forward to the future. It's bright.
That's right. All right, let's get into some news. So we got a few stories, man. I had like 6 stories I wanted to include this morning. We'll have to drip them out over the next 2 days because they were so good. We had to limit it to 3. In a move anticipating labor negotiations, General Motors commits over $2 billion toward the manufacturing of its next generation gasoline-powered pickups and SUVs. assuring that they will keep being produced through well into the 2030s. The announcement came over the course of a 7-day period last month, and next generation Silverados Sierra production, so a revamp doing the next gen, is expected to begin in 2027 with overhauled SUVs coming through 2028. Mary Barra said, we want to find a solution that's good for our employees, good for the company, because we need to continue to reinvest. And right now we've made some important announcements about reinvesting in these plants, because I think job security is very important. To do that, company has to be successful so it can continue to develop new products customers want to buy. So there's a big part of this move. Obviously, there's a pending strike. The UAW is talking about wanting to guarantee their place in the EV future. And Mary Barra and General Motors said, hey, like, it's not going to be like an immediate shift. Paul Waddy, manager of industry analysts at Auto Pacific, said, with all the headlines and focus on EVs, it's easy to think the transition's around the corner. But the reality is it is a decades-long transaction, not a years-long transaction, with pickups and SUVs being the last to go fully EV. Jordan,
that's exactly right, man. So like with EV, people are always talking about EVs, but with so we have a Chevy store, and in fact, we're opening up a new one here in just a few weeks. That'll be ready, so we'll have 2 at that point. And I had a chance to sit down with our district sales manager last week to kind of talk about what their plans are for the future, and he just said the exact same thing: was that, hey, we're not going to go all in on EVs. We're still going to have those ICE vehicles available. And that's a very big thing, not only for like union employees, like the Automotive News article is about, but also for the industry, for consumers. Consumers want to know that they can come back and get that new vehicle and not have to go to either a partial EV vehicle where it's a plug-in, or even just the hybrid component, or the pure EV where you plug it in and that's it. So he's very excited that they're going to continue that with all their truck lineup, all their SUV lineup, and some other small SUVs too.
Well, speaking of hybrids, EVs, and all that jazz.
Segue.
How's that? I'm going to try to get a segue.
There you go.
Kind of on the opposite side of the trend, Stellantis is no longer allocating gasoline-only Jeep Wranglers to its dealerships in at least 14 states that are following California's emissions guidelines, unless it's been ordered by a consumer. So basically, if you're in one of these 14 states, it's like California, Connecticut, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington State. If you're in one of those, Stellantis says we will not sell you any ICE inventory, stock inventory at all for Jeep Wranglers, only if a customer orders it. So basically, Stellantis got in late on an agreement. It's called the CARB agreement, and it dictates, emissions guidelines and rules. So Stellantis has to be within these certain guidelines state by state, when the other people in it are actually allowed to take their average over the nation. So got a couple of quotes here. So, Brian Mass, president of the California New Dealers Association, commented, and he said, well, if this is the case, and now that it is the case, which is a big surprise, because the rules actually don't go into effect until 2026. So it kind of was a surprise. He says people are just going to go to Reno or Vegas or Phoenix to get ICE Wranglers if that's what they want. David Keller, owner of David Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, it's a dealership near Philly, reported a significant increase in plug-in hybrid Jeep Wranglers. It's the 4xe. He says basically they're selling them successfully. He said people do like the fuel efficiency, and it's actually an increase in power. He said, so we're able to sell them, which is good. But he did say, like, there are customers who just want gas, and if that's the case and they don't want to wait, they're just going to skip to a different state that actually has inventory available, because nobody wants to wait for anything these days.
That's right. Well, the hard part too is they might not even go to another state. They might just go to a different brand, because if they can't get that specific vehicle they're looking for. Now, I also understand that the Jeep Wrangler is a very specific vehicle. So
yeah, people
are probably willing to drive for that. But if they continue that trend within Stellantis where they're not going to offer that, then I think that people are going to go somewhere else, not only across state lines, but also maybe even to a different brand. And they might be experiencing things that they haven't done before. And I would also say that on some of those, they might also be concerned about going to like a plug-in hybrid vehicle, because they also might be concerned it costs more and their loan payment might be higher.
Speaking of loan payments, I knew you were setting that up. He said, I'm going to bump set you some segues today. He's like, I'm going to bump them up. It's your job to get them over the net. Oh, as the U.S. government ends the suspension of student loan payments in late August, so just 60 days from now, close to 26 million Americans will start making their student loan payments again. So these have been in forbearance for probably close to 3 years now. The shift is anticipated to collectively cost up to $10 billion of American spending power per month, causing a likely contraction in discretionary spending. Retailers, especially in the apparel sector, are going to feel the brunt of the financial charge. So when you look and dig down into the data, basically almost 33% of the people that have to start these payments again are between the ages of 30 and 39. So like a real prime car buying demographic. And when you look at where these folks shop, so they shop at places like Old Navy, Victoria's Secret, Nike, Lululemon, Wayfair, Dick's Sporting Goods, Ulta Beauty, Target, Best Buy, right? So high exposure to millennials and Gen X, mostly millennials though. And we've been talking about, and you've experienced this in the stores, a credit crunch, discretionary spending going down, vehicle prices going up. How do you feel about that storm?
It's a lot of things happening all at once, because I think that people are concerned about interest rates, obviously, just like you said. And when someone is already peaked out on something, and then they're also told to step up in price, and then they have to step on an interest rate, your payment is a lot bigger than what other people would expect just walking into it. So I think we're going to miss out on a lot of the discretionary purchases in the auto industry. Just with this coming in, I think it's in August. I think it's what you said.
Yeah, end of August.
End of August. Yeah. So that's going to really affect Q4 for the entire year, whether it's new vehicles or used vehicles. What's your take on it?
So you're a marketer, and so you spend a lot of your time making marketing content for the group, thinking about how we're going to talk about things, what we're going to talk about. What is your approach to the marketing strategy going into a time that's already credit crunch? Like, what are the types of things you're talking about? How are you positioning your products to consumers? Like, I think sharing some insights like that might help some of the other marketers or even, GMs, dealer principals think about how to approach this from a communication standpoint.
Sure. Yeah. And there's a lot of different things that we do. So we always try and push whatever. So it's twofold. We've got the one side of it where we focus on our monthly sale that we have going on. And when we do that, we always try to feature whatever that new interest rate is, because there are certain vehicles right now where you can still get 2.99% on for interest rates for new vehicles.
What vehicles are those? So you're in the
Silverado.
GM ecosystem.
Silverado's
2.99. Yep.
Exactly. And then right now, if you get Toyotas, the sedans, and then also the smaller SUVs, those are 4.9. So a lot of people are thinking that they're going to be 6, 7, 8% if they go to their credit union. But if they come to us, we can actually get it cheaper for them. So that was like a question. This doesn't happen very often, but on Friday I took a sales call, and that was all she wanted to talk about was interest rate and with Toyota. So for her, that was so important. And being able to change my communication on the phone to her and saying, hey, what you're looking for is actually an incentive through the end of this month. So if this is something you're looking to do, we need to move forward now. And it's not pressure. It's not lying to them about stuff. It's just about telling them exactly what they're looking for. And that's really important. And then, Paul, the other side of it is we're really focusing on branding at a very high level. So it's about the stories of our employees, the stories of local community leaders. That's really something that we're working on right now. So there's a big release that we're working on. I'm not going to take a second to plug it here, but I'm really excited about it.
What is it? Plug it here.
Okay, you sure?
Plug it. Yes, please.
All right, let's do it. So we wanted to go through and do something that they're doing on YouTube. So if you look at something called Hot Ones on YouTube, we're doing something very similar to that. We call it Hot Takes by Gates. You can check it out by going to gateshottakes.com. We're sitting down with local community leaders. We're going through and doing the anti-interview. They're eating on camera, and we just eat spicier and spicier wings as we go through spicier and spicier questions.
Oh, I love it.
That's something that I had dreamed about doing for a while, and we finally had the time to do it, and we went and pulled the trigger. So we just did the first episode last week, and then this week we've actually got a double header on 2 days in a row. So we're doing 4 more episodes this week.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing, and so to go back to your first point, what vehicle or what price range was that customer that was concerned about the interest rate. What price range were they buying in?
Great question, because that was also really important to her. She wanted to be under 30 grand. So we have Toyota, we have Chevy. So that's something we kind of talked about on the phone too, was, hey, if you go with Toyota, you get the better interest rate, but you could also go to a Chevy Trailblazer to go to the smaller SUV that you're looking for. Size was important to her. She wanted something a little bit bigger, but she didn't want to spend a lot of money doing that. So again, it's about finding what they want and really letting them talk more and understand what they're looking for. So that was just a good reminder of what I think the industry is doing is, and I'm not complaining that I took a sales call, but I'm excited that I did, because that was just a reminder that, hey, this is what's happening out there, and this is what people are looking for and they're asking about. So that's exciting.
No,
to me.
that's great. I mean, like, and I think that's real conventional wisdom for anyone in the dealership. If you can't take a sales call, obviously you don't want people taking sales calls, but you surely can easily share them in most, since, depending on what your system is, most people have recorded and can share sales calls. Sharing a sales call once a week with the rest of the team that kind of highlights the general sentiment of what you're hearing. I can't think of a better way to get everyone. I don't care if it's the receptionist, a detailer, a janitor, an IT person, the accounting office. Share a sales call, because that gets you in the consumer mindset. And I don't think anyone else can lose with that. Jordan, thank you so much for spending a little time with us today and co-hosting. I can't wait until the next time already. Until then, go get it. First week of summer coming in hot.
Yeah.